Hey, what's up, guys? It is Dan from FightWave, and today I'm joined by somebody I'm incredibly excited to speak with. If you missed my chat with him over a year and a half ago, you'll know that he's one of my favorite middleweights on the active roster. Somebody who brings nothing but entertaining fights, skill, measure, composure, you name it, he's got it all. He's probably one of the most entertaining fighters, not to mention, people kind of reference him being a hybrid of Paulo Costa and Charles Oliveira, but make no mistake, this man is very much his own guy, and he's making waves in and of his own right. Today, I'm joined by the natural himself, Caio Borralho. How we doing today, my brother?
I've been good, brother. So, been training a lot. I've been very active in the division, and I'm getting the hard way. You see, all hard guys, all the guys from the Middle East and from over there. So, yeah, I'm happy, brother. I'm happy in the position that I am right now in my life.
Absolutely, man, and a lot has changed. When last time we spoke, it was right after the Omar Gadzhiev fight. That's been, almost a year and a half, no, a year ago now. Since then, you fought 3 times. We talked off air. Obviously, you mentioned staying active, wanting to echo the sentiments of the champion Israel Adesanya, how he's active. You want to be active as well. Talk to me just about how everything has been, personal life. Obviously, you were in Vegas recently. How was that experience? UFC X, having a lot of fans come up to you. How has everything been? And just in terms of travel, how was Vegas?
Yeah, Vegas is awesome, brother. It's a city that I love a lot. It's the city that I fulfill my dream, to be in the UFC. And this time it was one of the most amazing travels that have ever had because I wasn't like concerned about fighting or cutting weight or anything. I was just there to chill, to enjoy. The UFC paid everything. They brought me there. They paid everything, my hotel, my flights, my food, everything to go there. And you interact with the fans. So it was a great atmosphere. I was in the Hall of Fame induction. So everything is good, brother. I'm just enjoying life.
No, yeah, absolutely. And it's obviously, you mentioned, very different trip. Last time out in Vegas, you were there for the Contender Series and just staying there nonstop, getting working at Extreme. But now a little bit more laid back. You get to relax. You get just training in at your own pace. No pressure whatsoever. And it's the more fulfilling part of the job. You get to have fans come up to you, say, I'm a big fan, take photos with you. Like you said, Hall of Fame ceremony. Just a more enjoyable time in Vegas as opposed to getting ready for a fight?
Yeah, exactly. And it's good. Like the people stay in the line for like 2, 3 hours just to have like 1 minute with you, to sign cards, to take photos. So it's a great atmosphere to get the love from the fans. I think in Vegas I'm very well known. I have a lot of fans there, and I love it.
No, yeah, absolutely. And just as I mentioned, obviously, Caio, this time around in Vegas, it's very different from when we last spoke. The last time we spoke, you were just coming off the Omar Gadzhiev fight, and you had been in Vegas prior to that, just, getting training in and staying ready for your second contender fight. But now looking back, since the Gadzhiev fight, you've won 3 in a row, making yourself 4-0 in the UFC, 6-0 including contenders, and cementing yourself as probably one of the most sought-after middleweight targets in the world. A win over Caio Borralho for anyone makes you look like a contender. And for you beating all of these guys up and coming, it makes you a contender in your own right. I wanted to ask you, obviously, just reflecting on the start to now, how's it been, man? Because that journey of, the contender, making your way into the UFC, proving to the boss that you belong, and now everyone has respect on your name. And it's going to be even more respect after the Nursulton fight. So just talk to me about, obviously, the emotions and just how it feels like to have everything kind of go in your favor.
Yeah, like it's what I've been saying in all my interviews. Like I always imagine that this will be like that. That I'm gonna get to the UFC, I'm gonna show my work, and I'm gonna show that I was ready to the UFC. My record is not something that I build it up. I got very tough guys, but I didn't imagine that this was going to happen so fast. I think that was going to happen like in like 4 years, 5 years, something like that. But like not even 2 years in the UFC, and everything like that is happening. I traveled to Sweden to train with Chimaev. I had 4 fights. I traveled to all and everything. So like it's good. It's good. It's good. It's good to feel it.
No, yeah, definitely. And you mentioned, obviously, training with guys like Chimaev, a very different position to, where you were in the early stages of your career. Because in the early stages of your career, obviously, very much so based out of Brazil. But now, coming to Extreme a couple times, traveling across the world, getting in work with guys like a very unique mix of guys, I should say. One of the guys I mentioned, people say you have an uncanny resemblance to Paulo Costa. You got some working with him. Sean Strickland, who's an absolute maniac in the gym, somebody who's fun to train with anytime. And then another maniac in his own right, Khamzat Chimaev, but probably one of the most disciplined guys out there. You've had a lot of unique bodies to work with. How's it just been to get around the world now that you have that opportunity and just get working with such quality guys in competition?
Yeah, I always dream like with this, brother, to be traveling the world, training with the best guys in the world. So when the opportunity comes, I just grab it. Like the guys from Block Asset, they asked me to go to train with Hamza to help me in his fight with Nate. He's supposed to fight with Nate Diaz, and because I'm southpaw, I have jiu-jitsu, and I said yes right away. And I like to go to Vegas to train extreme. It's a good environment. People are very good there. They know how to train. They know how to train hard, but they know how to protect you. And this is really good in a team. So I'm enjoying, brother. I'm enjoying all these trainings. I'm getting better every day, and every time that I travel to train with those kind of guys, I know when I come back that I'm a better athlete. I develop a lot of my ground game, my top position game, and my striking, and I know this is the result of all this training that I have been doing outside of my country.
No, yeah, definitely. And obviously the preparation for the opponent at hand right now, Nursulton Ruziboev. You had a few choice words to say about him, about his record and everything. And that being said, a very familiar environment for you, fighting in your hometown of Sao Paulo right now. How does it feel? Just more importantly, you don't have to fly all the way to Abu Dhabi. You can just stay home, with your family, train at home, and then you can just walk to the arena or get a drive to the arena. Right in your hometown, you get to fight in front of your home crowd. Talk to me about how that feels against Nursulton Ruziboev and just the matchup as a whole. How does it feel to you?
Yeah, like fighting the hometown is like a dream for every Brazilian fighter. All Brazilian fighter wants to fight in front of the crowd, to feel the energy from the people from my country. And I think this will make difference inside the fight, because it's a crazy environment. Everybody on the arena is saying like, "Ooh, vai morrer, ooh, vai morrer." They're saying like, "Oh, you're going to die. Oh, you're going to die." That's what they say all the time in Brazil. So I just cannot wait to feel it, because last time I was in Abu Dhabi, I felt the energy from the crowd, but all the crowd was with Mahmoud Muradov, another Uzbekistan guy, and they are all Muslims and stuff. So I felt the energy, but I know they were not rooting for me. But now this time I know my people are gonna be there for me, and I think it's gonna be like massive event, with great fights. And I think this will come along inside the fight. They'll make difference inside the fight. And talking about Nursultan, I think he's a good guy. I think he doesn't deserve the spot that he is right now. He just had one fight in the UFC. Before he got into the UFC, I think he fought a guy 20 wins and 20 losses. So someone put him over there. And I'm gonna show him that I'm ready to the big challenge, and he's not ready yet. He's jumping steps. And I'm gonna show him this inside the fight.
No, yeah, definitely. And obviously, something you mentioned was the pedigree of opponent. You've faced a lot of guys in the UFC who are high level guys. And even in the contenders, your last 6 fights, you look at the net positive record, a lot of these guys are, 10-2 or, 9-2 or just very complete fighters with very amazing records. You were the first fighter to give Ghazi Omar Gaziev a loss. You look at Michal Olechechek, impressive run thus far in his own right. You look at Armen Petrosian, he just got a win over a guy who was undefeated, Christian Leroy Duncan. Your resume speaks for itself, man. I mean, you fought guys, all comers, anyone with a good record, anyone with respect on their name, you've fought, and you've taken the hype away from them. And obviously, you levied some criticism towards Nursultan, like you mentioned, the last opponent prior to Bruno Ferreira, guy with a very questionable record, and you were looking to just expose and push, a little bit of the narrative that this guy is not on my level, because obviously you've showcased that time and time again that, you are above the level that the UFC currently is giving you opponents at.
Yeah. I'm gonna expose him inside the octagon and outside the octagon, because I know that that I know about some fake fights that he did, on a previous organization. I'm gonna talk about that later a little bit more, just because after I said I'm gonna expose him on Twitter, they just silence it, because they know is the truth. I heard a story that he fought a guy that was not supposed to fight, and the guy was there to corner another guy, and then Nursulton fight just got off, and they offered this guy a fight with Nursulton, but they wanted him to lose to him. So I know about some fake fights about him. I think it's not the only one fight that they fake it. They just wanted to get in the UFC, but now he got the wrong opponent for him.
No, yeah, definitely. And obviously, you're going to be looking to put on display in full show UFC Sao Paulo. But more importantly, now I feel like the motivation is more greater than ever, Kyle, because you look at everything that's come across, the record and resume you've built for yourself, but more importantly, in your personal life, you mentioned offer, obviously, you're going to be a father in a few weeks' time. Obviously, first and foremost, congratulations on that. A phenomenal feat and achievement just to be a father in any sense of the word. I wish you and your family the best of health for your child and everything goes well. Talk to me just about the motivation this time around, knowing that you've got obviously your child coming into the world and wanting to put on a good performance to showcase something beyond just fighting. I always like to say, the fighters are human beings first and fighters second. What does a win over Nursulton at Sao Paulo in front of your home crowd mean to you, and what would it mean to get the victory for your family?
Bro, it means a top 10 guy. I think that what it means. I was supposed to fight a ranking guy, but the UFC got me this guy. I'm a company man. I'm gonna do everything the UFC wants me to do to prove that I will be the champion one day. So it's gonna mean a lot to win from him. I'm gonna be with the I think I'm already the second most win streaks in the middleweight division right now. And I think I'm gonna be tied with what's the name of the guy? The South African.
Duplessis.
Dricus Duplessis. Yeah, Duplessis, I think he got 6 wins, something like that. So I'll be with 5 wins, and then after that, 6 wins. And then I think I'm going to make a statement, and I'm going to put myself in the position of a contender, a real contender. Because the middleweight division is like all messed up. All the guys are booked against themselves, and Israel Adesanya just swept the entire division. So I think after a win with Nursulton, I will put myself in the position of a contender, a true contender. No, I'm not gonna face after that like a top 15. I think I'm gonna go already to a top 5 or a top 10 maximum, and then after that, two more fights, maybe the belt. So I need to get this win and prove them that I deserve this spot.
No, yeah, definitely. And a unique thing that stands out to me is even we prefaced it prior. The guys you train with are the best guys in the world. You've trained with everyone that you've trained with that I mentioned is in that top 10 mix or is going to be in that top 10 mix. Two of which are fighting each other. Obviously, Chimaev and Costa fighting each other. I think just a week after you or week before you at UFC 294, and then Sean Strickland is coming off a great win over Abus Magomedov. These are no shortage of good guys. I wanted to ask you, just because you've trained with them, when you're training with these guys, is there any thoughts that go through your head like, oh, I'm ready, because you've shown that you're ready, and we know that you're ready. But more importantly, has there been talks with these guys when you're training with them of a prospective fight down the line? Any rules or do's and don'ts, or just how's the atmosphere been with these guys? And more importantly, the specific guy I want to know how it's been training with them is Chimaev, because I want to know the intensity, how the intensity is, how it compares to maybe, fights that you've had.
Yeah, like while I was training, my head doesn't think anything. It's just like uh, anything goes on my head. But after training, for sure, I come to my wife and say, "Oh, I did good against this guy. I was training good. Or I think I'm ready because I did good against this guy, against that guy, against that guy." And tough trainings. Training is training. We don't talk too much about training because it's not like real fighting. But I think I did very good against all those guys. They didn't beat the shit out of me or anything similar on that. And but when it comes about training with Hamza, it's hard fucking training, brother. Like he likes to train hard. Like we're good friends. We didn't like kill each other or anything like that, but we really push each other. We really push each other. I think I evolved a lot after the training camp with him. I think he evolved a lot after training camp with me. So I think I'm the spot that I always wanted to be. I always wanted to train against those guys, and always wanted to see if I was going to do good against these guys. I always had this on my mind, this sure that I'm good. But after the training, I was like, oh, I'm really good. So that I'm doing great in the UFC because of that too.
No, yeah, absolutely. And I think I speak for everyone, Kai, when I say you're probably one of the biggest fan favorite guys for good reason. You amassed over 100,000 followers on social media, and you've become such a great, I think, example of what you can accomplish with your personal brand by just being yourself. You've never put on a character, you've never done anything of the sort, and that's the reason why you're probably one of few fighters wearing a very lucrative t-shirt right now, might I add. The steak t-shirt, steak deal. Talk to me just about the
Exactly.
experience being able to have such a big personal brand off being yourself, and also just working with Steak, because I think with the exception of you and Adesanya and maybe a handful of other guys, there's not really anyone getting such a big deal with such a big online betting company.
Yeah, like I always knew the importance of you do your media stuff. You be your own character. You be a product, and you need to sell yourself. I always saw the UFC with this, this platform, like a platform that you need to sell yourself besides fighting. So they stake deal came after I got from Sweden, and brother, steak changed my life, because dollar is in Brazil is like 5 times our coin, and they pay me in dollar, and I'm very happy to be part of their team. They're a very great team. I'm always talking with all the management from them, and I think I just bought my house because of steak, So I know it was very important to put myself in the spotlight, to sell myself. And I think steak bought it, And I'm very happy to be part of the team. Steak is taking very good care of me, and I'm very happy to be one of them. My wish is for us to be like partners like forever, like renew the contract every 6 months, every year, and that's my goal. Be state guy that represent a brand, and I think they're happy with me because we just renewed my contract, and I just have to win this another fight and I keep doing my thing. I think we're gonna renew another contract and I'm gonna keep going. Yeah, stay the best, bro.
No, yeah, absolutely, and no plans to stop right now. Obviously, Kyle, first and foremost, thank you so much for your time. An honor to speak with you, my brother. Always, speaking to you then and now, it's just been amazing to see the journey that you've embarked on and how far you've come as a guy, as, a fighter, and just as an overall, human being. It's always nice to see someone who truly deserves the success that comes their way get that success. And I want to just end on one final note. Obviously, we know your fighter goals. You've obviously got your eyes on Nursulton Ruziboev first and foremost about everything else. UFC Sao Paulo, and you want that top 10 right after. But what are some personal goals you might have? Because obviously we mentioned fatherhood is coming up just around the corner for you. Family's a big priority of yours. Is there any personal goals that you might have, just to finish the year out strong with these last couple of months of 2023 coming to a close?
Yeah, I wanted to finish this year inside the rankings. This is a personal goal for sure. So I think even though Nursulton is not a ranked guy, I think after the fight, after I beat him, I will be in the rankings. There's no way it doesn't happen. Actually, I was supposed to be in the rankings already because they just put Paul Craig in the rankings. He came from another division. He won a guy that was coming from 2 losses, and then they put him inside the rankings. I think I'm on number 16 right now, but on my rankings there's Alex Poitin that is not from this division anymore, and Kelvin Gastelum that is not from this division anymore. So I'm gonna finish this year inside the top 15, and put myself in the position of being a contender. That's what I want. and I want to keep inspiring people, all the athletes from Brazil, for them to know there's not just about fighting. It's just about making your personal brand, just sell yourself as a product, just speak good English and know how to promote yourself. And I know that I'm already doing it, but I want to be like a role model for all the MMA fighters from Brazil, that you can make money in dollar, not just fighting. You can like get brands to talk with you, get brands to work with you if you do a great work. That's what I want to inspire people like that.
No, yeah, absolutely, and a remarkable goal in and of itself. Thank you so much, Kyle, for your time, for your
Thank you,
energy,
brother.
and I wanted to thank the dog for the cameo. The highlight reel, bonus blooper clips. Just every. I wish everything in the best to you and your family. I look forward to watching you fight Nursulton at UFC Sao Paulo. I think a lot of fans do themselves, and I want to thank you just for your time and your great energy as always. And to the fans at home watching, do be sure to check out Caio Borralho on social media. I mean, if you're not already following Caio, what are you doing? He's probably one of the nicest guys, if not the nicest guy on the active roster. Don't let his looks fool you. This guy is probably one of the most deadly fighters on the planet, and he's gunning for that ranking. So middleweights beware. And it's been me, Dan, from FightWave, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed this interview. Do be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and have a great day,
I
guys.
just I just put in my YouTube channel, it's Caio the Natural Borralho. And my goal with the YouTube channel is just to make the fans approach from me, make the fans close to me about my personal life, about the things that I'm getting in my life, about my house. I just put a video showing all my house and everything. So if you guys want, just subscribe there. I'm gonna put some video with English subtitles for you guys, so you can keep on me. And thank you so much, brother. Last time we talked, you weren't that big that you are right now. It seems that you're doing a very good work. So congrats to you, and very happy to be here again, brother. And I hope in 1 year we talk again, and like you're gonna be saying again like, oh man, 1 year after you're like now top five and you're contender on the belt and this and that. So no, note my words. Thank you, brother.